and welcome to this week's Schreiber Council meeting. The township has been dealing with an emergency situation at the waste treatment plant for months, and the resulting costs have risen dramatically. Council will receive an update on the situation. The senior center will be undergoing renovations this year, and a request for a new pool table has been submitted as part of the upgrades. The Recreation Programmer report highlighted the schedule of events for the upcoming Winter Carnival, which will take place later this month. Tonight's agenda is up next. Thank you for watching.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our January 28th, 2025 meeting. First of all, I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Robinson Superior Treaty territory and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Métis. Can I have approval of the agenda for the open session? I have Director of Operations report, T-Bay-Tel low temperature sensor, and Director of Operations report, the sludge return boxes. I'd like them added in the committee of the whole under department reports as 13 and 14. And actually, I'd like to take a report out of there, and that's a Director of Operations report, the Aqua Extra invoices. Number six. Does anybody have anything else? Hearing none. We have no delegations. We got any for question periods?
No, nothing.
Nothing for question periods. So we'll go to minutes of previous meeting. Resolution 18-25. Moved by Councillor Morrow, second by Councillor Bourgeau, that the minutes of the Council and Committee of the whole meeting held January 14th, 2025 be accepted as circulated. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Business arising from the minutes, Committee of the whole recommendations. Resolution 19-25. Moved by Councillor McGrath, second by Councillor Morrow. The council renewed the Schreiber Beach and the Cascale hiking trail tourism oriented directional signage program for the year 2025 in the amount of $1,520 plus applicable taxes. Discussion?
I just wanted to point out that that's the invoice we're paying, but we are actually splitting that cost with Cascade.
Okay.
No.
That's what you guys told me at the last meeting. I made a
No,
note.
that's what, we clarified that at the last meeting, to say that it is 100% that we pay the costs.
Cause my note said that you guys said it was a 50-50 split. I wrote it right on the
No,
report.
you asked the question, your economic development officer wasn't 100% sure. I clarified that in the report, it's both signs.
We're paying for both,
We pay for both.
and there's no split.
There is no split.
Thank you for clarifying that, Ronnie. It makes no difference to us.
Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 2025. Moved by Councillor Burgeot, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The council authorized property tax write-offs in the amount of $3,121.91 for the following accounts. Roll number 585-10000112300, 58510000322600, 585-10000326400, 585-1000001204000, and the last one, 585-10000033400. Discussion?
A lot of zeros.
All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 21-25. Moved by Council Morrow, second by Councilor Bugeaud, that council approve the expenditure request and approval to proceed from the Ontario Clean Water Agency in the amount of $5,295.80, including applicable taxes, for critical spare parts for the chlorine gas system at the Bitter Water Treatment Plant. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 22-25. Moved by Councilor McGrath, seconded by Councilor Morrow. That council accept the quotation from Slate Welding in the amount of $5,480 plus applicable taxes to repair the Sterling dump truck. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 23-25. Moved by Councilor Morrow, second by Councilor McGrath. The council approved the attendance of Councilor Burgeot at the Good Roads Conference 2025 to be held March 30th, 2025 to April 2nd, 2025 in Toronto, and that expenses be paid as per township policy. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 24-25. Moved by Councilor Morrow, second by Councilor Burgeot, that council accept the quotation from Transwest in the amount of $2,990.76 plus applicable taxes for the replacement of 2 4-inch valves for the sludge pumping to the Vagger building. Discussion?
I just have a question for our Director of Operations. When I was reviewing this, I noticed that the quote was for the 2 valves. And it doesn't, it's not clear in here, is labor, is installation going to be additional?
Yes, because Transwest is not going to be the one to install it. So it will likely be the 80 brothers that install the valves, and Automation Now would install the actuators.
So this motion is just for the valves, not for the installation.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
Okay. Yeah. All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 25-25. Moved by Councilor Morrow, seconded by Councilor Burgeois. The council of the township of Schreiber support the resolution of the town of Bradford West, Gwimblarry, with respect to the Ontario Deposit Return Program. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 26-25. Moved by Councilor McGrath, seconded by moved by Mayor Mullins. Second by Councilor Morrow. That council approve the attendance of Councilor Burgeois and Councilor McGrath at the Thunder Bay District Municipal League Conference and the annual general meeting to be held March 6th and 7th, 2025 in Thunder Bay, and that expenses be paid as per township policy. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Move on to accounts for payment. Okay.
Yeah, that's sponsorship. Thanks, you're lost.
Oh, okay, missed that one. Resolution 27-25. Moved by Councilor Burgeois, second by Councilor McGrath. The council authorized the sponsorship of the Thunder Bay District Municipal League 2025 conference and annual general meeting in the amount of $150. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Move on to accounts for payment this time. Resolution 28-25. Moved by Councilor Morrow, second by Councilor Burgeois. The bank debits paid out of the general bank account in the month of November 2024 in the amount of $45,548.72 be approved and ratified. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Other business? Resolution 29-25. Moved by Councilor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Bourgeot, that bylaw 5-2025 being a bylaw to amend bylaw 34-2019, the execution of a tax arrears extension agreement pursuant to section 378 of the Municipal Act 2001 be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, we'll move on to our committee of the whole portion of the meeting. And we're gonna do a little bit of a change here. And we're gonna start with the, number 9 will be number 1. Because we have Evan here and we'll send him on his way after work.
You don't want to stay for the whole meeting?
So the first recreation report, Winter Carnival 2025 report. Do you want to report on it, Evan, or do you want to?
I didn't know if anyone had any
Anybody
questions.
want questions?
Yeah, if anyone had questions or I can speak on them. I gave you guys the updated budget there. Of course, things are moving pretty quick now. We're gonna try and get the pamphlet out after February 8th, I think it was, Marlene. That's when we're printing. So after that, we're gonna get them put out in the mailboxes. So right now, I'm still just ironing out a couple of the events. So things are still coming together. But since I sent this onto the agenda, I think I had we were in the negative 500 on
Right.
budgets, and now we're at least we're up. I think it's 15 or something. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's going good.
And I think I read somewhere your original plan was to start, the Winter Carnival pamphlet will be out in the mail on January 31st. So that's changed now, Evan?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just after February 8th. That week after that, we're gonna get it out. I believe that's the Friday, the 15th.
It's on Monday, and it was the family.
Oh, okay.
The Junior B game that's on Saturday night,
Mm-hmm.
that's different, right?
That's different than, well, that's a standard junior B game for the hockey team. But because we are partnering with them, it's going to be a Winter Carnival event. We're going to have a beer gardens at it. We're going to be doing chuck-a-puck, and we're going to have a door, kind of a door prize. Everyone gets to enter their name when they come in, and then kids there will be one child picked. 18 and under, someone will be picked 18 under, someone 18 above will get picked to shoot from center ice to win $50 in cash. So we got a couple different things going on, and then after that we have a dance just at the hall.
So the beer garden is going to be in the arena?
In the arena, and they'll be at the hall too.
And recreation, like that's part of our event?
We're gonna, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And
Yeah, it's kind of, I put in there similar to the showdown, but they're not putting on the beer gardens. We're gonna do it, how they set it up. They usually set up the third bleacher to the far end of the arena. That's put in, so you don't go up the bleachers, and you just have a roped off area to drink over there.
Okay.
So it'll be one area that you can specifically drink. It won't be the whole arena.
And the chuck-a-puck, you buy that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's also a recreation event during the game.
Yeah. And then the figure skating club will have the concession open.
That was what I was gonna ask you, okay? As concession. Sorry, and there was one more thing we were doing?
The dance after, or oh no, shoot from center ice.
Shoot from center ice.
Yeah, that's the board that goes across the net, and then someone gets on the ice, shoots the pucks from center ice to try and get in that little tiny hole in the bottom of the boards.
And that's our event as well.
So all these sponsors, Evan, were we more successful this year than?
No, I don't think so. I think I would still be expecting maybe 3 or 4 more to come in, maybe.
Okay, that's good then.
Yeah, usually in the past we're sitting at about, I'd say almost 3,000 at this point by doing it the way we've done it in the past. We're not doing anything extravagant. We're not doing bouncing castles. We don't have a big expense really.
Right.
So the big expense is the junior B game really. And then quite a bit of prizes, of course, to give out. An adult Pictionary Friday. So if anyone's listening, put in a team.
Okay. So Evan, the reason I'm asking that is I see all like your list of expenses for these events, but I'm looking at this, you got they just gave us a new one.
Mm-hmm.
But on here, the reason I asked is I don't see an expense for the Chuck-a-Puck.
Oh, that's free. We just borrow minor hockey pucks.
Uh-huh,
We just write on the numbers,
uh-huh.
and people pay $2 to pick up a puck. They chuck them on the ice, and then we get the pucks back. No one keeps their pucks. They just use them to shoot on to center ice.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So the
We
reason-
just need volunteers to sit there, and we usually make up a chart, kind of number the chart 1 to as many pucks as we're going to want to number. And then people can say, my favorite number is 30. I'm going to buy puck 30, $2, and I'll sit there in between first and second period. We're going to pull up the net, and then people can toss their pucks. And whoever gets closest to the dot with their numbered puck will have the sheet that says, Evan got puck 30, and then we'll know who won that way.
So they get something.
They get cash.
So, but there's no expense for that on here.
There's no prize? No?
No.
Oh, it's the pot. Sorry.
Like, no, I didn't, like, I just.
No, my mistake. No, it's the pot. It's whatever this put in to the Chuck-a-Puck.
Okay, so that's why there's no, so
Yeah.
the money that we collect for Chuck-a-Puck,
Yes.
the whole thing goes back to the winner of
Yes.
Chuck-a-Puck.
Sorry. I
I've never-
misunderstood
never
what you were
done
saying.
Chuck-a-Puck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave's laughing, like you probably knew that already.
No, and I got it's similar to a 50-50, but we're just giving it back. Yeah.
Sorry.
You'll get,
Sorry,
to,
Dave.
you'll get to try this year. So much fun.
Okay. Okay.
The people who don't care usually do the best. I always try, and I've never won, I don't think, in my life. So.
Okay. And then the only other thing I had on here was here we have like liquor licenses for Pictionary and the Junior B Gardens. Pictionary, Junior B Gardens, PAL Insurance, but I don't see anything on here for the Winter Carnival dance.
Oh, we can license 100 Langworthy. So we're licensing 100 Langworthy, and then we just have to on the license say the room. Because it's a room, you just have to put on their different rooms. So it's under one license. I don't know if you've seen it before. You know how our liquor license usually says
Yeah.
community hall, 200 people in there?
Yeah.
You'd have underneath there arena, X amount of people, but it'd be under one license.
Okay, so that's why there's no license. We don't need separate PAL insurance.
No, because
either.
it's one address. We're lucky that it's one address.
Okay.
It's in the arena complex, technically.
But the purchasing of liquor is not on here as an expense.
Yeah, it's going to be split between the two. We're going to use beer garden and the dance because it's going to be in the back at the hall. We're just going to be
so-
using that booze for the beer gardens, and when the beer gardens at the arena's over, everything moves over to the dance. Hopefully the dance is already slowly happening by then because it starts at 9. Game's usually done at 10.
So at the dance, we're only serving beer?
No, at the At the arena, we're only gonna serve beer.
So Arena Beer Gardens,
Yeah.
I get you. Do you think that the expense that you outlined here is gonna be enough to cover both the beer garden and the dance fund? It doesn't look like a lot of money to me.
I'm just not putting too much into it because the last dances we've had haven't been too crazy. So, like, our big expense is gonna be adult Pictionary. Like,
Right,
that's where we
and that's
sell-
why, like, I see that number,
Yeah,
and then the number is lower for, now you're telling me is the beer gardens and the dance.
yeah. It's unfortunate the adult Pictionary is our biggest liquor making event that we have.
So that's why that's
Yeah.
that way. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's pretty crazy. And the expenses too, I put like for adult Pictionary, I think we have expense of 1,400, and I put 1,800 revenue, but we're gonna make a lot more than that. But I was just trying to be very cautious.
Conservative.
Yes, very conservative. So
Okay. Okay, so that liquor for February 22nd, Junior Beer Garden is the amount for
Slash,
both that and
yeah,
the dance.
and dance, yeah.
Slash dance. Okay, that's a good way to put that. Sorry, Em.
No, that's okay. I'll rework it for the next one too.
No, dance. Okay. And I think when I was going over it, that was all my questions. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
I can go over that tomorrow.
Did we find someone to run the last chance draw?
Donna is.
Okay.
Yes.
Historical Society.
Historical Society. Yes. And the Legion will be doing the bingo this year.
I thought you had a question, you had one.
No, I mean, I do have a question with what he brought up there.
Oh, sorry.
You said the dance, as I forget the exact words you said, but the dance doesn't go good, so why are we going back to that same well then?
It was just
Why don't we change things up every once in a while? So I think it's a fair question.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely, for sure. Yeah.
No, I'm okay with it. I mean,
I thought you
I think,
had
I
I thought
think,
you had heard a rumor. You were telling me this morning you heard a rumor that one of the schools might have dropped out for the lunch.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Holy Angels did drop out.
Oh.
Yeah,
Holy Angels?
Holy Angels did, yeah. For
Okay.
the luncheon.
Yes.
For the
that-
luncheon,
that to
yeah.
me, I heard one of the schools. I said I hadn't heard that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, so now what?
Well, they pushed it to the week after because they had staffing issues. Yeah. And then we put an email out just to see if the senior center could do it. They can't do it, so.
How about Dave's gonna kill me. How about figure skating?
No,
No.
just the teacher that Holy Angels.
So
That was the one. That'd be a whole board would be that work.
does anybody else have?
Well, it's hard. I was thinking you could put it out there and you do a first come, first serve, but is that fair? Because not everyone, Facebook or whatever means used to communicate, it wouldn't be technically fair. I was thinking library.
They won't want him.
No, and that's exactly it. They already do a lot during winter carnival, so.
What about a couple of our other popular groups we have? I mean, well, it is kind of last minute, I suppose, but how about like the CWL or the Anglican Churchmen?
The CWL's got the penny auction on Sunday.
Okay.
But, yeah. I could contact, St.
Does it
John's.
have to be a night to a restaurant?
Well, that's a fair question.
I don't know.
What's that, sorry?
Does it have to be a non-for-profit? Like, can a restaurant do it? Like, could we approach restaurants?
I think we've talked about that in the past and just restaurants had deals on and specials. But like, do you mean to use the hall?
Well, like, so you don't have to cancel one
Yeah.
event per se. Like, I don't know.
Because what we did before during Heritage Days, we had at the Voy when they first opened, we had pajama pancake
Oh, cool.
lunch or supper it was there.
Yeah.
So wear your pajamas, get pancakes for $2. I forget what it was, but that was in the booklet. It was a Winter Carnival event.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, it's always been
Could
a
we do that?
reach out to.
I mean, if the Anglican Church, like, let's say you go in a not-for-profit and they said, well, no, but could you reach out to our local restaurants, like, well, Ames doesn't really do lunch, but to, like, Breeze or the Voyager to see if they would be interested? Because then you could actually, like this pancake thingy, you could actually advertise it in your booklet.
What about D and like the pizza?
Oh, the villa, yeah, I never even
The
thought.
pizza, the French fries, like we brought to Heritage Days.
Yeah, they were pretty supportive.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I like that.
Just to fill a hole.
Just to say that they're doing deals on, or
Well, pizza
pick a
lunch.
specific one
Pizza lunch is pretty easy, so.
Yeah.
to do it at the hall. Like to have Pizza Hut come to the hall and do it at the hall, or just
Yeah,
yeah.
doesn't hurt to ask.
I mean, he might. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask. I mean, you might not get a response, but why not ask? Then at least you don't have a hole in your program. Because I'm thinking, yeah, that was the Thursday, right? They're past lunch.
I just don't know
Asking.
how could we pick one and then one gets the hall either at a minimal cost or free, and then another. That's why I always went with non-for-profit. It's
Okay, so could we call the Anglican Church women? We might have a contact for them, no?
yeah.
The CWL, you're right. They're doing a big. The library's doing something.
How about the Legion?
Oh,
They're doing bingo, but
They're doing bingo. They have their games night and wings night.
So wing night on Thursday.
Yeah.
okay. I think it's. I mean, because otherwise you're gonna have a hole in your brochure thingy.
Yeah.
Unless maybe you think of something else we could do that day for lunch. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm been doing the same thing. I've been trying to.
Because you have your senior center floor curling tournament until 11, and then you've got opening ceremonies and stars on ice at 6. So, not that you can't just run with those two things, but it might be nice to contact other groups. Maybe there's somebody watching tonight that would say, "Hey, I might be interested in hosting a lunch." Like, I don't know if the food bank, church groups, sports organizations, that's who we normally go to, right?
And maybe do like a lottery, or like everyone put your name in, pick one.
Well, I mean, the thing of it is, I don't, like, we're saying here, like, I doubt the seniors can't, we've already approached the seniors, they're not gonna do it. The Legion probably not, because that's their wing night, but maybe just other groups, I'm just trying to think of other groups you could call to see if they would be interested in doing a fundraising event. So just so that you didn't have a hole in your event, your weekend, your Winter Carnival weekend.
Yeah, there's a couple because Heritage Days. We have a couple, so I could contact St. John's.
Because especially since that you've changed the date from January 31st to February 8th, you've got some time to play with. If they could give you an answer in a couple of days, you still have time to change your brochure because you're not looking to mail them out now until February the 8th.
Yeah, we got lots of time now.
Because January 31st, I mean, I would tell you, holy hand, that needs too much, but yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, if you can't get anyone, ask the businesses and the 3 places that want to serve lunch, give 10% off that day for lunch. I mean,
Yeah, maybe a
could put a
button
little
deal.
blurb on them or something.
Yeah,
Right? You're right.
yeah. I can go out tomorrow, get phone calls, and see if I can stop in tomorrow and see.
You're right. And then it turns out that you say. We can advertise some of the businesses. And fine.
Mhm.
I don't know, did anybody else have any other questions?
You're good? Okay, then we'll move on to number 10 then. I believe it is. SOP for Winter Carnival events.
Do we want to do a lottery on this one too? Everyone's naming it.
Who's gonna be around? He meets February 21st and February 22nd. You're not here, Dave.
I'm not
Yeah,
here.
I know you're
I'm
not.
not here.
I'm in Thunder Main. Dance.
I don't think I'm here.
Benji knows everything. Steve, where's?
Oh, boy. Decent, that's fine. What time do you need me on the 21st? 6?
Yes. Well, and yeah, because I can always be signed off as a responsible person if you're late. If you can only show up at 7 and you have to leave at 10, as long as you have me as a responsible.
No, if I put my name in the license, I won't leave.
Okay.
The only thing is, I would be late. I already have an appointment that on the 22nd at 5:15, and I've got till 7 p.m. I could be there, like, I have to drive back in from Terrace Bay. I'd be there at 7:15, but I'd have to sign it, like, I'd have to give somebody else responsibility for the 21st. So I can do that, but I have this other appointment here, but it's only in Terrace Bay. The 22nd, are the beer gardens and the Winter Carnival dance going to be happening at the same time?
Slowly they will. They start. The dance starts at 9. The games ends at 10. But it shouldn't be a big influx at 9 at the dance. It should be a slow.
I can sign it, but I can't be in two places at once. And once I throw my name, and you and I have had this conversation now. Once I put my name on the license, I feel more just because my name's on the license, I need to hang around.
Mm-hmm.
So my problem would be I can't be at two events at the same time.
No, and that's okay. You don't have to bartend.
No, I'm not bartending, but like
Supervising.
I'm supervising, right? So I wouldn't leave.
No, that's fine. If you're okay with that, like we can also ask Benji, see if he'd be able to maybe take the night shift or cut it in half.
Okay.
Okay, I guess that's it for that one then too.
Yeah, I could give you an answer, but yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you'll get a hold of Benji? You'll get a hold of Benji?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for your reports then, eh?
Yeah, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks, and thank you for the update on it.
Thank you.
Okay, number 3. Now, number 3. CAO/clerk report, Roma conference.
I just wanted to give council an update as to how the conference went and who we spoke to. So we did meet with the Minister of Infrastructure, Minister King Masurma, on Sunday, January 19th at 10 a.m. regarding our state of emergency and the need for federal and provincial funding to either continue with repairs or replace our wastewater treatment plant completely. The minister that day did say that there would be an announcement the following week on Tuesday, but would not specifically say what the announcement was for, but to make sure we listened and when she made it. So when she spoke on the Tuesday, we did go to the meeting where they announced the new Health and Safety Water Stream Fund, which is a program for funding for wastewater and water treatment plants that is not tied to housing. So that's the big piece. So we will be looking into that grant and applying for it. On the Monday, we spoke with the Minister of Health, Minister Sylvia Jones. I was a little shocked, I won't speak for the Mayor, Councillor McGrath, to have her say to us that it's not her job to say where ambulance bases are, what paramedics are where, or where the paramedicine programs are located. I thought that it would be the Ministry of Health that took care of all that, but she smartly told us it was not. So, but she did give us some other ideas and places to start to look into these programs. On the Tuesday, we met with the parliamentary assistant, John Yakubowski, for the Minister of Energy and Electrification. We wanted to express to him that Schreiber is open for business and that we're very much interested in partnering with renewable energy companies that are looking to invest in our community. Later that day, we also had a delegation with Hydro One. This was a follow-up to the AMO meeting in Ottawa in the fall of last year to say, hey, you know, we spoke to you about some issues here. If there are infrastructure, nothing has happened. What are you doing about it? Since then, we did receive correspondence from Hydro One. They're looking for more specifics from us and seem to be willing to work with us this time around. So hopefully it continues. And that's my update.
Pretty fair.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Okay, number 4 now. Food cycle or pilot program report.
Okay, so Beth Ann has been working with Maddie Frum, who is the representative for Food Cycler. Now, when we first put our survey out on Facebook, we had a lot of interest from other, outside communities. With that happening, Maddie had wondered if we should do a partnership with Terrace Bay to split the cost of the program, and because they had a lot of residents that were interested as well. So we did speak to Terrace Bay. They have agreed to do a 50-50 split for the larger order rather than just the 50 units. We would go with the 100 units. We pay for 50, they'll pay for 50. We have pre-sold, or I shouldn't say sold, but reserved 40 of the 50 units that we would be responsible for. So how it works is our commitment as the Township of Schreiber would be responsible to pay up front $18,600. And then with the sales of those units, that would come back to the township. Within the 1 year, if we do not sell the remaining 10, Food Cycle will take them back, buy them back from us. And Terrace Bay will be in for the exact same amount. Are there questions?
So, sorry. What the recommendation says a cost of 18,600.
Yes.
But your report indicates to me that the net municipal cost, if you could move all 50 units, would be 6,600.
Okay, no, so that's how many we're getting. That's not selling them, that's how many we're getting.
Right.
So, like, we're getting, because of the pre-order, there was a bigger interest in the smaller units than the larger
Right.
units. So there's, our 50 would be broke down into 30 of the smaller units and 20 of the larger units. So,
Right.
right, so, I believe they're selling them, I think one was 300 and one was
200. Yeah, you have it in your report here.
Yeah,
So if you get that revenue, the net municipal cost after sales is 6,600.
correct.
I just want people
Yeah,
outside to
sorry,
understand
yes.
that we're not spending $18,600 of taxpayers' money. It's actually very much smaller.
Yes, sorry, yes, correct.
And then my only other question before somebody else asks is this is, I'm going to guess, because one of the reasoning behind this is to decrease what's going to landfill. Will the cost of this program be going to the landfill? GLs?
That, Marlene, do you know?
That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
You're gonna be incurring 60, if you're lucky enough to sell every item that you purchase. Cause really, at the end of the day, your expense is 18,600 plus tax. That's your expense that will show up.
But then we could
Your
show a
revenue
revenue
will
line.
be offset as you sell them. But
Right.
if you don't sell them all in the year, you will have a much bigger loss. If you sell everyone as anticipated,
Yeah,
it's costing your ratepayers $6,600.
so, but we could put those revenue and expense lines in landfill.
If they have to go on landfill, that's
Okay.
what they pertain to.
Okay.
So one question, what would it cost for someone to buy this outside program?
So if you
Double.
go, if you go onto their website, the larger unit is, I believe, $600, and the smaller unit is $400, I believe, on the website.
So big savings.
Huge savings.
I'm excited. I'll probably the only one. I have tons of gardens. I'm excited.
I think it fits well into our environmentally friendly campaign, you know, with the recycling and reducing our footprint in the landfill, so.
And like, and after the Ottawa, we talked to Maddie and the interest that we gathered, I mean, we definitely had to look into it further and, yeah, I think it's gonna work out well. I think all 50 will go.
Yeah.
And like you say, 40 are spoken for now, and 10 will go within a year, and if not, they'll buy them back, so
Yeah.
their cost will be 66.
And there's been a lot of interest
Or,
publicly, like on our social media about, we'd like to see this starting, we're just waiting to hear, so I think it's gonna be good.
okay, so I think we're okay to
Yes.
go ahead with it, eh?
Agreed,
Yeah.
yep.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Okay, number 5, Director of Operations Status Report.
So the sludge return boxes have been installed at the wastewater treatment plant. The fabrication could not have been more accurate. The fit was absolutely perfect. So really happy about that. The installation happened, took 8 hours on each side to do the installation. So they worked hard and fast and got it done without any impact to the process. Automation now has been pushing hard to complete the project. We're still waiting on a couple delivery items on parts. So we might get pushed into February a little bit. The ESA inspector was supposed to be here actually today, canceled. So we're going to be okay with it going into February, and he's seeing huge progress every time he comes to site. So he's quite happy. The January 9 non-compliance was a result of the flow meter failing in the effluent channel. That was part of Automation Now project. So they just went in and installed the explosion-proof one. So that is now the new equipment. So we are back on track with that one. The senior renovation, we got the drawings back today. I met with the senior committee this afternoon, and we looked at the drawings. There's still a couple changes that need to be made that they didn't pick up the last time. So we will have to have another meeting with council to have a look at the tender package. We want to get the tender package out as soon as possible in February, so that we are not pushing construction too far into April or June. I still have to talk to our economic development to see what the date is on that funding, to see what my timeline is. But we don't want to suspend any programs with the senior committee or the senior center, because it is tied to funding. The CLI maintenance operation and maintenance manuals have been completed. I received them in draft form, made some suggested revisions, and I got those back today, so we'll have a look at that at your next council meeting. There is a problem with the sanitation collection system. We do not have as-built drawings for the system north of Ethel. The engineering department drew some proposed drawings in 1995, but the actuals were never completed. So we're going to have to add a number to our 2025 budget to have JML come out and survey that section of town so that we can get some as-built. Otherwise, we're going to run into trouble with the MCP when we go to submit these manuals. And we're already late with the manuals, but we did put a notation in there that that the rest of the drawings will be coming at a later date, so hopefully that buys us some time. The municipal complex has been having some issue with the propane, especially in the -34 temperatures. So Sergeant Propane was on site again on Monday, and they have moved the blankets on the tank. He changed the regulator, changed the pigtail, and hopefully we will, we've also made arrangements with Sergeant to keep the tank filled above 50%. So they're filling us up on a weekly basis right now, just to get us through the winter. And then come summertime, we'll have to have a conversation with council again to see if we add a second tank, which might be more efficient for us. Any questions? Attached is a very detailed update from the Automation Now project manager that's been on site. So that's probably the most information that we've been able to see since the project started.
So automation now is probably, February will probably be their last month.
Yeah, that's the plan.
For now.
Tammy, I got questions. So the senior active living center renovation, you are going to keep in close contact with Deb for the grant, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I think he's got some valuable updates to that program. You're going to probably want to hear from him. The manuals for CLI ECA. So we're going to print the manuals excluding Ethel Street and then reprint them when Ethel Street's done?
So the operation and maintenance manuals are not the documents that are published. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that is not the document that gets published. With the CLI ECA comes deliverables. One is we're supposed to develop these operation and maintenance manuals that will be in the hands of the people that actually do the maintenance. The other deliverable is the annual performance report.
Right.
And that's the document that needs to be published.
Okay, so then the published report, here's my question in a nutshell. We're not doing the published report twice, are we?
No, the public report is essentially just our maintenance that we performed on the system throughout the year. What maintenance was done, if there was any complaints, if we had any issues. So that's all covered in the annual performance report, and that information is not going to change.
Okay, I gotcha. And then when I'm reading automation now, and it's here, it talks about decant tanks, effluent flow transmitters, totalizers, effluent pH transmitters, gas detection systems. I guess here's my question. He talks about the units and how they've been installed or they're gonna be almost installed. And he talks about in different parts of these calibration and setting up. I guess so that just my question would be Aqua is going to be either trained or will know how to set and reset these new systems, and they're aware of what documentation they need to retain with these upgrades, correct?
Yes, calibration, as you'll see on the monthly reports that we get, calibration happens on a monthly basis and is logged in the logs. So if there's any adjustments, some of the equipment will require Transwest to come back and recalibrate if they fall out of calibration. However, most of the equipment can be calibrated by Aqua.
Okay, so then partially yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because there is a lot of brand new equipment. And then where
They
you
have
talk,
also been, they have also been present during all of the commissioning of these installs. So I would be asking Aqua to develop SOPs on the new equipment so that we're clear on, and we don't forget the instructions that we've been given.
right. Okay, and then number 6, where you talk about the heat trace, you currently refed the existing heat trace to provide heat as we are now into the winter cold season, but there's some conversation in here about this one item might be pushed back into the spring. So if we end up not being able to do that a heat trace into the spring, is that going to hold up the conclusion of Automation Now's report, which is like due before then?
No, Automation Now brought in a Nelson heat. There was some pipes that were frozen underneath the Bagger building.
Right.
The one side was being operated, not both sides, because there was a chemical pump failure on side 2. So they brought in a heater to thaw that out. They installed the new heat trace on that, but we have been baking daily over the past week, so we shouldn't see any freeze-ups. And they've also reconfigured the way that the pipes are running now.
Okay, so it's not going to hold up the completion of this DFA project.
No.
Okay.
So is bagging back to normal now, Patty?
No.
No.
We are still bagging only on the one side. They have calibrated the new explosion-proof chemical pumps, but the dosing of the sludge is very particular, and they are waiting for Trish to come back from her vacation to actually get the correct dosing. So in the meantime, they have only been using the old side of the bagger, but they have been putting a few sets through daily with the out-of-town operator that's been on site. And then the manager from Manitowoc has also been coming weekly to bag. So it's only the one side we use at the moment. Once we get the new chemical pumps dialed in correctly, then they're going to be using that side only to make sure that the new system, the new pumps are working as it's supposed to. Once they're sure that there's no bugs in the new setup, then they will change the old side.
Thank you.
So I'm not sure if I was clear on that, Councillor McGrath. Normally we would bag 6 bags at a time. Right now we're not normal because we're only able to do 3 bags at a time.
Okay.
No more.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, Debbie.
Your annual performance report on CLI ECA. You're number 4 or the number 6. Your report, Tammy.
Okay, so we're talking about the annual performance report?
Correct.
Okay. So again, that is a deliverable that's required under the CLI ECA. And so I have put together the 2 reports based on the maintenance records that I've kept over the past year. The other requirement that is mandatory is that this document be made public. So we will have it available on the website, our town website, and we'll have a few copies at the front counter as well. So it needs to be adopted by council as the 2 reports for 2024. One's for sanitary collection and one is for storm sewer collection.
And this is where we just spoke about JML adding that notation to the 1 manual indicating that North of Ethel Street will be published later.
That is part of the operation and maintenance manual.
Not these performance reports.
Performance.
Okay, just the performance reports. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So are we good with that? We accepted the annual.
To council for does hereby accepts the annual performance reports for 1 for sanitary, 1 for storm sewer. Yeah, and made available to public.
And use the CLI ECA number for each system in the acceptance agreement.
In the resolution?
Yeah, please.
So that's at the very bottom of this page, right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Unless anybody, I read to them the other day, so I don't know if anybody else got any questions.
Good.
Do you, Tom?
No.
Okay, then we're good with it then, Tammy.
Thank you.
Okay, your Director of Operations report on the smart meter, chlorine.
So as promised in my last status report at the last meeting, I did conduct an investigation on the chlorine dosing and the smart meter, and because the goal is to have the new smart meter that we just installed, which is post filter. That will be the only chlorine injector going forward. The goal is to have the pre-filter smart meter on standby in case it's ever needed. We're not going to rip it out or anything like that, but it should be on standby only. As you're aware, when you chlorinate raw water, chlorine in raw water mixes with the organics in the water and creates byproducts. So the goal is to have better quality water by adding chlorine only after the water's been treated. And you can see in here how it's been, I included some charts for you to see how it's been, how it affects HAAs and THMs. And those are the running annual averages that we tend to exceed and we have non-compliance for. So this is a direct correlation to that. So the charts will illustrate to you how the numbers have been reflected over time with this as we're turning it down. And we installed the smart meter September 24th. So it's important to see after the 24th, September 24th, how our numbers have reflected with the addition of, because right now they have the chlorine being injected pre and post filter until they find the sweet spot. So it's a little concerning that right now we're kind of adding a double dose of chlorine at the moment. So you can see that our residual has climbed a little bit since September. And so I've been talking with Aqua to get that chlorination turned down more quickly.
And what are they saying?
Sorry?
And what is Aqua saying? Is it possible to get it turned down more quickly, or?
Well, there is the pre-chlorination is still part of the ECA, our water license, because back in the day before we had the elevated tower, we had the contact loop. So there's paperwork involved in them removing that low set point pre-filter. And then with the addition of the elevated storage tank, that's now used in the chlorine contact time. So it has to be a slow process to allow for water turnover. I'm just not sure that we have to go as slow as we're going. So they have their PCT people working on the paperwork and watching the results. And we're going to be stepping it up a little bit more.
So are you confident that eventually that rechlorination will be totally eliminated?
That is the goal. And after talking with the manager, the area manager for Aqua, that's been his goal as well. And he sort of expected this to be further along by now. So he's been coming to town multiple times a week. If weather allowing, of course, he comes in for Manitouche, and he's been really working at that and at the banking system to get us on track.
So as a follow-up to Dan's question, Tammy, do you have a date that you're shooting for to turn off the pre-chlor? You just, in your report, you say you've been running it for 4 months already.
Yeah, and I would have, to be honest with you, I would have expected us to be in standby mode already by now. So that's what kind of sparked for me when we got our exceedance notice again for the HAAs. It made me dig a little deeper because I really thought that we would have been in standby mode already by now. So after talking to the manager, there's the paperwork that never got completed by their PCT. So that's moving forward right now. And I'm talking with him almost daily, if not weekly, on me making sure that we're still moving in the right direction. To give you a date is pretty impossible at this point. All I can tell you is my goal is ASAP. But it really has to do with the residual and the paperwork and getting the permission from the MECP to make the changes to eliminate that low set point on the pre-filter.
Okay, because it's got a big impact on the results that we're getting from the HAAs, THMs, and it's also got a big impact on budget with the amount of chlorine you're going through.
All of that, absolutely.
So like, I'm just saying, the sooner the better.
Yep, agreed.
Okay, thanks for that, Tammy. Okay, we said we're not going to do number 6 tonight, so
Can you defer that?
the seniors CCR band.
So the senior center has made arrangements to have the CCR band perform at the rec center. The event will be open to everyone. They will be selling tickets at the front counter. $15 for members, $20 for non-members. It is going to be a dance, so they would like to have a bar But in order to do that, we need permission from council and someone that will allow their name to be on the liquor license.
I'll put my hand up for that one.
Dan?
That could be bouncer as well if you want.
I could even do that one, that's in my time range.
So who are we putting down, Dan or
Yeah, I could do it.
you'll be there? Okay, Councillor McGrath. Okay, thank you.
Okay, number 8, the seniors pool table.
So as part of the renovation, we have to empty the pool room. And the pool table that was purchased, I think it was around 5-6 years ago. It was a table that was purchased without consultation with the members. And this particular table has 2 granite slate, like slate plates in there. So you have to peel off the felt, and then it's going to take a lot of muscle to lift each slate out of there. If you move it without taking that slate out of there, the table can be damaged. You'll never get those plates to sit level again. So what the committee would like to do is to ask council to surplus this table. We would sell it for $1,500, and the captain of the pool room has indicated that we could possibly get a secondhand table that's much friendlier, high quality, used for approximately $1,500. If we can't find a table, the alternative would be to buy a new table at a cost of $3,000. So that would leave a deficit of $1,500. However, the senior committee has said that they could raise that with their barbecues in no time. So they weren't too concerned.
So do you have someone to take apart this old table?
We are going to have Ken, the captain, join us. He is not well, and I certainly would never expect him to do any of that heavy lifting.
Right.
So the plan is to have the rec guys come and be the muscle under his direction to have the table taken apart.
When that pool table was purchased 5 years ago, was it purchased under the Senior Active Living Center or by any other form of funding?
Senior Center,
I would have to ask our treasurer that. That was before my time.
2018, it was part of the Senior Active Living funding.
Okay. So it was funded by grant. You're going to need to go back to 2018 and ensure that you can actually legally surplus this given the grant guidelines. I'm just giving you a heads up. Because sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. Each funding agency has different timelines when you buy something by grant, when you can sell it. My guess from 2018 would be you could, but you want to double check that.
Okay.
And then last but not least, you talked about table replacement, whether it's $1,500 or $3,000. I guess my question is that it is going to be worked into the ongoing Senior Active Living Center budget?
Yes.
It will be worked into a budget line.
Yes.
Okay.
And they hope to use their barbecue money that they fundraise during the summer.
As long as this expense is noted so that, do you know what I mean, you can offset them.
Okay.
You will want to take a look at that grant time.
Okay.
And that's the only questions that I had. Dan?
No, I'm good.
And you probably got the best captain for a pool table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's no doubt there.
Yeah.
yeah, and his concern about that table, I mean, it's been voiced many times about trying to move it, and it has been moved in the past. and the results aren't that good, so.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, bye.
be a good upgrade.
Good.
Okay, so we did them ones. The Aqua report, December 2024 Schreiber Water and Wastewater Treatment Systems report. Everybody.
So I have read through the report, nothing jumped out at me as being abnormal. I will draw your attention to the sewage performance assessment report where it talks about the sludge. And because of the trouble that we were having at the plant, June, July, that's what kind of, we were in trouble already by then. August is when we declared the state of emergency. We are just now getting things back up and running again. So they have started bagging, and that is just the one load to the dump for December. So we should see better numbers come January 2025.
I mean, I have a question on this report, work order summary report, towards the back. There are report start date December 1st to December 31st, location 5897, and it's work order types. Here, on December 1st, 2024, there is work order number 4274543 for the wastewater treatment plant, health and safety, doing the inspection. Okay? And
Aqua does their own inspections.
beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. My question is, do they do it 18 times? Because it's repeated verbatim, line by line, not a change, 18 times on this report, just questioning why.
I'm not sure about that. Every time, if they identified anything in their inspection and then went back to fix anything, that would all be part of the log. But I could ask for more detail on that.
Because the log, you're right, Cam, because the log detail though is exactly the same every day.
It's the same
Okay.
date.
Hmm?
In the details, it says the same date.
Yeah, the details, the work order number, where they're at, and the logs, all, they just repeated it 18 times, just out of curiosity. Sorry, hon, it's not your issue, it's their issue, but you might want to look into that.
I'll find out about that. I'll ask a question about that.
It's the first time I've seen it. Like, I've seen it on the report, but not that many times.
I noticed that on a couple other things too, that things have been duplicated. So maybe it's a glitch with their print program. I'll have to ask. I'm guessing.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for that, Tammy.
Thanks, Tammy.
Gonna let you catch your breath and we're gonna do Schreiber Public Library Board. Then we'll go right back to you.
So these are the minutes from November. Let's see, a couple months ago. Meetings since then. But if there's any questions. What's going on? Our new board member attended her first meeting last week. So I
Nice. No question. It's awesome that the library report stated it's December. I love it.
All good?
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
good, okay. Go to the bottom of our, so, and Tammy, the report on T-Baytel low temperature sensor.
So when we lost heat in that minus 34 temperature, that was on a Monday morning, and we're not sure how long the heat was out, But when I came in at 6:30, it was very cold in the building. And, pumps and everything was making some terrible noises. So when I asked Cloud Darling, because I thought that they had a monitoring system that was supposed to call me when the temperature dropped. But it hasn't been set up because it's only an email. So you'll get an email notification, but you may or may not see the email in time to save your building. We do have the heat sensors in some of our buildings already. I think the arena has it. And I know the Discovery Center has it. We'll get phone calls when the temperature drops in those buildings. We don't have that particular sensor in our municipal complex. But should the water lines freeze, because it is a boiler that feeds water, that's how the building is heated. If we ever burst one of those 6-inch pipes full of water, it's going to be a disaster and costly. So there's no extra cost for monitoring the extra sensor. There's just a cost for installing the sensor. He's got a scheduled trip for early March that he can get it done. I'd like to see if he can make a special trip to get it installed sooner than later, because I think it's crucial monitoring equipment for what's going on here.
No, I think it's a good thing to get for sure. And really, you think about it, it's pretty cheap to protect our
Yeah.
$900
assets.
for the sensor and the monitoring and the labor to install. I think that's incredibly good.
Right?
Yeah. And he says right in here, it's the sensor and the installation. And there's no extra charge for monitoring. I agree with you. I think this is a great idea.
So I don't have to drive by on Sunday and see.
Double check.
No, but I probably can get a call.
No, I think you have to get it for sure.
Yeah,
And
she's
it's
right.
relatively cheap.
Yep,
Yeah,
One-time cost.
agreed.
agreed.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and so your second report on the sludge return boxes.
Okay, run,
So-
that's that pin back, I don't have one.
Okay,
Sorry, I don't have a copy of it. Oh, that's what I gave you.
No.
Okay, that's all right. Go ahead.
So the original
Take notes.
report was given to council October 8th, 2024. The quote that we received was for $61,660, and that was for the fabrication only of the two sludge return boxes. At the bottom of that report, it clearly states that that didn't include the install or the HST. So the invoice that we're looking at today is significant, but with that, we also got a couple more things made at the iron steel fabricators out of Thunder Bay. There was things that we had to replace down at the plant, so they manufactured, like, there's 4 extra things on their invoice that I've included for you to see what those were, and then the rest is the install of the boxes. So we just need another resolution from council in the amount of $62,376 to install the sludge return boxes.
Okay. Oh, okay, so in a prior report, you said that the Aiden brothers spent 8 hours aside on this installation. Sorry. I don't know how to do this one.
Oh, what do you want? Oh,
Just show me this invoice.
Okay, the invoice itself.
So there was, sorry, I should be clear about that. They had the plant shut down for 8 hours. There's a lot of prep work and a lot of tie-in after, but the plant was only shut down for 8 hours.
So they did, okay, so they spent more than 8 hours per side to install these sludge boxes.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, they also included all of their time sheets, but,
Holy shit. Okay,
they have all the supporting document to support their invoice.
but we didn't get quotations or tenders on this, did we?
No.
And council never approved this, but we did approve purchasing knowing that the installation was gonna be additional.
Correct.
And thoughts about where this money's gonna come from? Are you gonna roll it into state of emergency? Are you planning, because we've already finalized the 2025 sewer budget. We can't add it to 2025. So are we thinking about adding this to state of emergency? Or are we thinking
That
about
is how
reserve?
I quoted it. I
Okay.
quoted it to the state of emergency.
Marlene, do you have a final number for what state of emergency cost us? Because I know that you've been looking at loans. We worked that into the 2025 budget, the loan payment. I guess my question is how is this going to affect the loan payment that we've already set up in the budget for 2025?
So your balance in the state of emergency account is $525,019.34. So you're adding the additional 124 that's on here. Plus
No,
any-
No, only half. Because we had approved half in October, which is correct.
I'm telling you what you've paid to date, what is in your general ledger. There could be other invoices that are outstanding. I'm just saying this is what's been posted to your general ledger as of today's date to December the 31st.
So this 120,
So
the original 61's have never been
It
posted.
has not been paid. The
So
original
it is one.
So the question with the invoice is, does it pertain to the state of emergency or is it something that was separate to it? Because for the state of emergency, if you're still trying to get funding for it, you have to be able to prove that the expense actually is for the state of emergency. So is it for the state of emergency?
So, Mike, can you show me that? So, unless somebody else knows this, back on September 24th, when the purchase of the sludge boxes were brought to us, Mark, I had asked questions about the costs, and our director of operations is correct. He was clear all along, plus labor to remove and install. So I've got a note, and you had given me a balance on the state of emergency as of September 18th, 2024, of just over 215,000. But Tammy made note that except for the scum chamber, rake maintenance, valves and blower room, and additional lab work, that the note I had on this original invoice was there was an estimation of additional $150,000 to $200,000 in addition to that. So by reading my notes, my guess is that it happened. It was found in October when they were doing the state of emergency, and we couldn't put the plant back together without the sludge boxes. So it was part of the state of emergency. And Tammy, you need to help me with this.
It was part of the state of emergency. The reason we needed to replace the sludge return boxes, and if you recall, I included pictures for you. We had sewage spilling on the floor. We couldn't put it back online, therefore we couldn't bag, we couldn't waste, which is all part of the process. So the condition of the old sludge return boxes was affecting the process. And so it was a must that we replace them in order to move forward.
So now that you know that. So this 124 is not posted, it is gonna have effect on that loan payment.
Oh, yeah, because, I'm trying to see where trying to see what the basis was when we did the
The loan?
budgets.
Right. Well, you had presented that to us on just a second, I'll give you a date.
So what was
December the 10th.
what was the additional 150 from that September 24th? What did that include?
That was, she was guessing 150 for the sludge boxes, the scum return, rake maintenance.
150 for the sludge boxes?
No, 150 to 200,000 for the sludge boxes and all of this other stuff.
So what does the other stuff?
This,
Total.
Because we had outstanding invoices that we haven't seen yet, so at the time, we didn't have all the DFL invoices, we didn't have the sludge return completed yet. We were still replacing some pipes in the sludge return, the digester. So there's still a lot of work being done that we hadn't been invoiced yet, so I was still estimating a good 200,000 to 250 on top of what had been reported at that meeting.
Because we didn't include it at that meeting, it wasn't included.
No.
Because your sewer, the wastewater, the information that was provided and used for the sewer budget was borrowing based on 500,000. So you're at 525 right now.
plus this
What
one.
what else is outstanding? Plus the 124 that's right here. So yes, there will be an impact on, depending on
It
what
can
you're
be, though.
advertised.
We've already finalized the sewer budget. We passed it.
Right, a budget is a point in time estimate, so when your project is complete, then you'll know what you're borrowing, and you'll know what your rate is at that point in time. But the budget was prepared based on borrowing 500,000.
Over a certain time frame.
It was a 15-year amortization that was.
So if the amount is greater, which obviously is going to be
Yes.
$650,000,
Mhm.
we could increase the time frame to keep the year one payment schedule the same and not have to change. Because we've already passed like sewer increases, all that stuff. Okay, so it's still doable. Tammy, do you know when the state of emergency? Okay, so we talked about this. I think you've already told me this. You're hopeful that the state of emergency will be over by the end of January, yeah?
I'm hopeful, but yeah, I am. If we can get the bagging system operating 6 bags, the new chemical pumps operating as they're supposed to, I think that the process in both clarifiers is now operating the way it should. We're still waiting for automation now to change the rate motor on clarifier 1. The motor's been changed on 2, but when we shut that rate system down in 1, there's always the risk. The focus right now is to make sure that the sludge is brought down to its absolute lowest level before they shut that rate system down.
Right.
Otherwise, we may be in the same situation that we were when we started all of this. The rate might get stuck in the sludge if there's too much down there. So that's a concern. We're focusing on trying to get the sludge down as low as possible so that we can change the rate system. That will affect the process. Once we can get the bagging, system up and running as it's supposed to be, then our whole process then will be complete. And at that point, I would be comfortable coming out of the state of emergency.
Do you know if Treasury has all the invoices, like, till today, till January 28th? Has she got everything?
I don't believe so. Because we still have, in that report, you'll see that they made the knife, let me just go back there. They made the grate, some of it's for the grit channel. The grit channel has to be installed still. So the dates, which are the weirs, that was part of the sludge return box, but they were very specific, so they were not included with the fabrication of the sludge return box. We have to monitor the flow. The flow monitor is very specific on the very defined shape of the weir. So that had to be manufactured separate. The knife gate and trash strings for the grit channel, those still need to be installed. We've now paid for the fabrication of those things, but they haven't been installed yet. The 4 ducts was part of the sludge return, so in that regard we're okay. But we still have to pay somebody to install the valves at the bottom in the sludge basement. So I'm comfortable in saying that we have not got all of the invoices yet.
And so by the sound of that list, I don't think you're gonna, like, Councillor Morrow just said, oh, December 31st is Friday. So I don't think we're gonna be finished by the end of January. Okay. Is there a possibility that I'm concerned about this money, holy man.
You're concerned what?
It's about the amount of money. So, Rhonda, is there a way, like, how can we get a better idea of what the state of emergency is actually going to cost us? What's the best way to go about doing it?
So we'd have to contact the contractors that we're using and tell them that we need our invoices, you know, like sooner than later. Like, I mean, the problem is sometimes, like, I mean, we're still receiving invoices for December and
Right.
January's almost over. It's ridiculous, you know?
Right.
You need good cost estimates of what's left in your project. You have a
Yeah.
project outline. So you need to know what is outstanding, what you've agreed to already. And again, you need to have good estimates on what those costs are gonna be in order to determine how close you're gonna be or how far off you're gonna be on your total project costs.
Is there a way you can get your department heads working together to get a report to us by the council meeting in February? Is that too much to ask? I don't know.
2 weeks from now? This is pull it together.
I don't think Tammy's far off on 250, 300.
But yeah, but that was at a time where we were only at 200.
No, I'm saying,
Yeah.
on top of what Marlene is saying,
Yeah.
526 as of December 31st.
Yeah,
I'm saying probably another 250 to 300 with what's left.
That's including the 124.
That's from my understanding of what needs to be. It's pretty good there now. I mean, automation. I mean, there's still work to be done, but automation now is going to be out of there.
yeah, that's a separate project though. I'm not even
Yeah,
concerned
that's
about
true.
us-
That's true.
about automation. I'm more concerned about, we've set water and sewer rates, right? We've approved that budget. There was a particular loan payment for the sewer plant, and it was calculated on 500,000, and we're at 650 right now. it's gonna become a financial issue for mayor and council to address. How we're gonna come up with that, or how we're gonna deal with it. So if Rhonda could get some solid numbers, I think that'd be helpful.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else has any questions.
Okay.
Mike, Tammy?
Well,
Go to communications then. Thank you card from the North Shore Hours covered.
I didn't see anything.
No, I'm,
No, if you guys saw something, you know.
okay, we'll move on to, unfinished business. Bank of Montreal closure.
Okay. So, we have a meeting set up with, the lady from the Bank of Montreal. I'm just gonna grab it here. Jennifer Cadwell, for the first week of February. We sent her, some questions ahead of time that we're hoping that they will provide answers to the day of the meeting. Sorry, it was Jennifer Carbone. So we're meeting with her on the 4th, I believe, that morning. So there'll be Councillor Bourgeau, Mayor Mullins, and myself. Were there any questions that anybody else wanted us to ask? I can send them ahead of time to the meeting. If you do, you can email them to me. We did try to get a delegation at Roma with the NDP caucus. We weren't successful in that. However, I did prepare a briefing note discussing the bank closure. And we did pass that along to the caucus without actually speaking to them, so that was a good thing. We also networked with other communities that are going through similar now or before situations to pick their brains on how did they handle it, what did they do, how did they get a new bank. So we have some good insight on how we can move forward.
So is there a time limit on your meeting, or is it open to Jennifer?
It's a Teams meeting. I didn't notice a time, like it was like a strict half hour or anything.
Okay, so how many questions do you have right now?
We sent her, I believe it was 5.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we plan on sending some more, but.
Yeah.
Okay. But if anybody's got
Yeah,
anybody.
just let us know and we can train them ahead of time and hopefully she'll prepare answers for them.
I mean, a lot of people, I've gotten about 4 or 5 phone calls. And a lot of people are coming up with different ideas and everything, and like why I say,
They're asking what can we do to
yeah,
approach this? What, how can we complain? Is there something that we can complain to?
Right. And Rhonda was informing us that the complaint forms that we have here, that people are filling out, that we're actually bringing them over to the Bank of Montreal, so that, because they're the ones that are gonna address it, so we're helping people with that as well.
As a formal complaint been made to the,
FC.
yeah.
Yeah.
As well.
We actually found an organization who
Yeah.
is filing that complaint.
Can anybody complain to the FCC?
FCAC, yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Any individual can do it, or any
FCAC?
FCAC,
And that's
yeah,
on that letter that was sent out?
that's right,
Okay.
Yeah, it had like the grounds which you could complain.
complain, so
Okay, so
all,
everybody
yeah,
got a letter
Yeah.
that was in a,
Yeah.
in the account, so,
We think they didn't follow those things.
Yeah.
so refer to the letter and.
yeah, we actually had an organization write a letter of complaint and ask for, the organization asked for an investigation by the FCAC into how this was done.
Yeah, people are calling different banks or credit unions. I don't think there's nothing that we haven't really.
Yeah. And when was that public meeting again?
The 12th of February.
February 12th.
Okay, well, if nobody else got anything else to say about the bank closure, then I guess we have to move back into close, so. Resolution 30-25. Moved by Councilor McGrath, second by Councilor Bergeau, that the closed meeting resume at this time. All those in favor? Carried.